Oh, that's fine.
Do you want it still, or can I keep it?
You weren't here. Yeah, you're gonna file it.
I wasn't here
To make a file? I should have made one for you.
Was this on Monday? Because I was.
You don't see your name? I just went for my class list. Let's see.
Pause this.
All right. Who can tell me, how do you think we're going to solve these problems in words? Yes, ma'am. Cross multiply. We've kind of seen some of these already. Some of us called it the butterfly method in middle school. We're going to cross multiply. These equations are called proportions. Proportions. This is when you have two fractions set equal to each other. We cross multiply to find the solution. All right, we're filling in the blank. We're in geometry. We love filling the blanks. We're going to do some examples. Anybody need another minute to write these things down? No. All right. In our first example, we're just going to cross multiply. That means I'm doing 4 times 15 equals 7 times x, or 7x. From there, I'm going to simplify. I get 60 equals 7x. We'll divide both sides by 7. Therefore, x, oh man, that's why we need our calculators. X is, I got about 8.57. So yeah, it's not always going to go in nice and even. That is a possibility. Number 2 is a little harder. I think we saw an example of this yesterday in our little review activity. So let's talk about number 2. We're going to do 8 times 10. We can handle that. That's 80 equals. Then we're going to do 3 times this whole thing. And I'm going to add parentheses because I have to distribute the 3 to each thing in the top of that expression there. So now I use distributive property. 80 equals 3x plus 15. And now we're just solving a one variable equation. Minus 15, minus 15. We get 65 equals 3x. And yeah, when we divide, it's not going to be a whole number. 21.67 if we're rounding to that nearest hundredth today. How about you try 3? Try 3 with your team. Give it a try. Second part of this lesson, dealing with squares. So I put a little square there. The inverse of multiplication is what? What's the inverse of multiplication? Okay, good. Division. What's the inverse of addition? Subtraction. So then how do we deal with an equation like this? What do you think? How do we deal with that? What are we going to do? What's the inverse of squaring something? Not dividing. Square root. Who said that? Who said that? Nice and loud. Square root. Square root. We're going to take the square root of each side. This is the symbol, square root. So we're going to solve this equation now. I'm going to square root both sides. Can you find in your calculator, what's the square root of 144? Can you do that in your calculator? What's the answer? If you don't know how to find out in your calculator, now's a good time. to ask me about the calculator. You will have to square root next week on your test. Do you know where the button is? Help someone out at your team. For you. Can anyone find another solution? Is there another answer to this? What's the question? That's what I'm trying to get at. Listen carefully, because some of us are having side conversations. Sienna just asked, how could there be another solution to this? If the square root of 144 is 12, and that's all my calculator tells me. How could there be another solution? Let's talk about what it means to square something. Y squared is repeated multiplication. That's y times y. So follow with me right now. To get 144, I'm really doing 12 times 12. Do we agree? Is there another solution that could get me 144? What do you think, Brennan?
You could do negative 12 because negative 12 times negative 12 would be positive.
Oh my gosh. Do you see that? So when we square root numbers, there are actually two solutions. Make a note. There are actually two solutions. When we square root, there's a positive and a negative. That's what this symbol means. It means plus or minus. So when I square root 144, my calculator is only going to give me the positive version. It's 12. The other answer is also negative 12. Did you ever hear that before in Algebra 1? No? That's okay. You might have heard it. You might not have. We'll get more into it in Algebra 2. But just something to notice. Why are we doing this? Because later this year we're going to do Pythag theorem, where we square a lot of things. Don't worry. It's coming up. Let's do some examples. What's the square root of 100? X equals what? 10 and negative 10. I want you to try 5. Try 5 with your team. Can you square root it? Try 5. Show someone on their calculator. Make sure everyone knows how to use the calculator. If we don't know how to do it in the calculator, check in. Check in. Help. Help each other out. For number 5, did you get z is 15? And z is negative 15. Let's try 6 together. Oh my gosh, a proportion. Focus, focus, listen, listen. What's y times y? Y squared. Y times y is y squared. Will you please show this work? When I cross multiply, and I'm timesing a variable by the same variable, it's going to be y squared. Oh my gosh, what's 16 times 9? 144. Did we already solve this today? What is the answer here? Y equals 12 or negative 12. I want you to try 7. 7 with your group. I'm going to start passing out our homework. Oh my gosh, easy peasy. Can you check 7? that what we got? I forgot. We're going to do one more thing before the homework. Can you flip to the next page? Explain. Can you flip to the next page? Last page in the back. Last page in the back. We're all going to look at this page right now. Now, when we start getting into our geometry content, I usually like to do a lesson summary because we have been working on algebra skills all last year. Right now, I want us to do a learning goals self-reflection, so I'll help you with the first one. I want you to quietly read each learning goal to yourself. I can simplify expressions and solve two-step equations. That was from lesson 1.1. I want you to think, am I at a 1? Not good. I need extra help. Am I at a 2? Am I at a 3? I'm okay, but I need more practice. Am I at a 4? I can do problems on my own successfully. Or am I at a 5? I'm fantastic. I could teach it to someone else. And I want you to read each of these learning goals because this is what's going to be on your test next Wednesday. Reflection right now. You're doing that. Reflection.